Just a little tease right quick to remind you guys to sign up for the October challenge with LASHAE on ifyoucanmove.com. The link is down below in the description box. Y'all know I went from a large to a medium, and I just found out that I won for most referrals on the Hip Hop Tabata challenge from August, so I'm so excited. Okay, I just actually just finished working out with Kiara. I did like 2 workouts, which were like an hour today. I love her so much. Her energy is so amazing, and I'm so happy that I'm in this place, y'all, because I love, like, I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was cute before, but I'm super cute now, and I can't wait to see what I look like after the October challenge. Lyric is actually joining me. My husband is joining me for the October challenge, which starts on October 11th. If you're going to, you know, become a part of the challenge, I need you guys to go on the site, sign up, okay? Tell them that I sent you, okay? And also get your weighted bands, okay? Get your booty bands so you can be fully engulfed in this. You definitely need the weighted bands for Trap and Tone October 11th, you guys, okay? So y'all make sure y'all sign up. I'm so excited. All right, y'all. And also, please don't forget about this ISOT. I know that y'all stay trying to, you know, say, oh, y'all scamming people. Look, okay, why would I be buying it and using it myself? Am I scamming myself? That don't even make sense. Look at me, okay? It's all been a part of the journey. And if you want to try, you can get your money back. Like, if you know, want to try the samples and you don't like it, you can get your money back, the whole 9, okay? It's easy peasy if you just want to try it out. I would definitely suggest it if you're working out and everything. If you have like some stomach issues and, you know, you're always trying to regulate, I would definitely suggest getting the tea, because whenever we're like feeling nauseous or our stomach is upset, we drink the tea, we feel better, we use the bathroom, okay? So get into. Well, anyway, I hope you guys join the challenge, and let's get into whatever video you're about to watch. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue, and I am back for another Married at First Sight review, y'all. Okay. So this is 6 weeks of lockdown. All of the couples are going through quarantine together. And as we have seen, quarantine has put a lot of relationships to the test, okay? People who have been together for decades have now come to the conclusion that they really don't know each other now that they've been locked in a house together for, you know what, maybe 2 months really, before people really started kind of just going back outside, you know, 2-3 months. But either way, it's 6 weeks of lockdown for the couples. Amelia and Bennett, okay, she has cut her hair into a cute little bob, but she still has hair under her arms. Just as something I'm not a fan of, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, that's just one of the things that I understand people like to do nowadays. And hey, sis, it's your body, do you? But me, the visual of it, just not a fan. I think I'm becoming more desensitized to it, because before it used to be like, you know what I'm saying? And I think in real life, it's still like, you know what I mean? But, you know, I guess, like, whatever. It's just kind of like, oh my gosh, she has like a whole bunch of hair under her arms. It's a lot. And then the camera angle was like right under the arm, so you can like see it all. Yeah, it was a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? Just for me, my sensitive capabilities when it comes to underarm hair. Then Bennett, okay, we find out that Bennett uses 1 square of toilet paper to clean himself. And I just was at a loss for words with that. Like, as someone who thoroughly cleans their bottom, okay? You know, I'm trying to say this in like the nicest way possible. Okay, we have wet wipes in every bathroom, as well as strong Charmin toilet tissue, okay? I don't understand. And I have to wonder, if you are fully clean, if you have only used 1 square of toilet paper. That really sent me. Like, I was just kind of like, I don't understand. I also don't understand, why are we trying to save toilet paper to that extent? But he's also worried about the global economy. And I understand that sentiment, but it just really goes back to me not understanding how he's able to wipe his bottom fully with 1 square of toilet paper. I just do not see it happening. And that makes me wonder about the hygiene. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. Yes, I'm sorry. Let's get past that subject. She finds out where her residency is going to be. It is going to be in Virginia. Now, I feel like that's not the worst place. It's close enough. You know, you're right smack dab in the middle of the upper East Coast and the lower East Coast. which is the South, and that's close to here. So I feel like, at the end of the day, it's not the worst location that they could possibly move to. But at this point, they have not decided yet what they're going to do, if he's going to move with her, if he's going to stay in New Orleans. I mean, honestly, I feel like with his work not being open with the pandemic, there are no theater shows like that anymore. It just seemed as if it was in his best interest to go with her, seeing as though she's the breadwinner. She still has a job. You're following her bag, basically. So it just made more sense for me, if he really is in love with her, to just go with her. Woody and Imani, okay? She puts him on blast. Child, he was snoring up a storm. Reminds me of how Lyric can be sometimes. And you tell him to turn over, and that works for a minute, but then they start snoring again. So yes, I understood where Imani was coming from. I've recorded him before. He didn't believe me either, so I had to record him to let him know. Oh no, you snore. You snore so bad, you've almost woken yourself up before. Imani has discovered finally that she loves Woody, and she gets him a whole bunch of little gifts for every one of his senses, okay, which I thought was super cute. She called it corny. I thought it was cute. You're in a pandemic. Do something to excite one another, and this is along those lines, okay? So he really appreciated the gesture, and everything was good for a moment, okay? And then she jokingly asked him to see if he has hoes in his DMs, okay? He's nice looking. He has a energy about himself. He has a New Orleans accent. Y'all understand. It's provocative, okay? It gets the people going, okay? And she wants to know if there are whores in the DMs. And he got defensive, like, why do you want to be in my phone? So what, you don't trust me? You want to be all in my personal space? And the way he reacted made her feel like he had something to hide, which I understood. This turned into a big argument, but eventually they, sat down, actually talked. She was clear about how she felt, and he was clear on how he felt, and they were able to let that altercation go. As this relationship progresses, you're gonna have arguments. It's just important that you communicate. That was one of the things I noticed about my relationship with Lyric. When things, were upsetting to me, when I felt away, we would talk about it. And his willingness to hear me and try to correct said issue and vice versa is what kept our relationship together. Like, you're gonna have disagreements. It's how you handle the disagreements that is the real issue. Christina and Henry, okay? Henry turned 35 while on the show. His friend sent him a really cool rainbow inside, colored cake. It was so cute, but it also kind of, made it messy later in the episode when Christina accuses Henry of secretly being gay. So his response was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, I was just like, yeah, I believe him. But anyway, before we got to that, she forgot about his birthday, which I feel like is really messed up. I mean, I think that that's one of the things you should be trying to remember during this time in the relationship. But I think a lot of the things are passive aggressive. Like, they feel a way towards each other, and instead of having a conversation about however they're feeling, they just start reacting without telling the person. And I think he does that, and I think she does that as well. They are similar personalities, and a lot of their issue is that they don't know how to communicate with one another. They can tell everybody else what the issue is, but they can't actually say it to one another. Specifically Henry. I saw that he had so much to say when he talked to the doctor. He had so much to say when he talked to Imani, but he could not vocalize what he was feeling to Christina, leaving her feeling, like she doesn't know what's going on, So, yeah. She goes out, okay? She says she's going for a walk. It's obvious that she's going out with her friends or something, but she ends up not coming home until 3 a.m., which makes him feel like, where have you been? You lying about where you were going, first of all. And so then he says it's a pattern of her being dishonest. And I think that turned him off. So instead of saying that from the gate, it now adds to, all of the negative things he feels about her, which makes him not want to open up and actually participate in the relationship. So the quarantine has affected Miles and Karen differently, okay? Karen is a nurse, and so she's always out, working. She's actually overworked and tired, and her experience of this is different. Miles is at the house all the time, nowhere to go, nobody to see. and no one to distract him from the issues in their relationship, like her not really being emotional. She doesn't really cater to him emotionally. Like we see, you know, time lapses of video with them together, and he's always trying to be affectionate and she's always running from it, and then making comments that make him feel as if she doesn't really want him, but then, you know, expects him to just be okay and acts as if he's overreacting when he expresses that he doesn't feel that she wants him. He's not overreacting. You know, you don't show him how you feel, and you often show him that you don't really want him to be all up on you like that. You know, the comment about being happy that they had 2 bedrooms and all of that. Like, I just kind of feel like she plays the victim whenever he calls her out on things. It's like she's pushing him to spaz on her. And I don't know what that's about, you know, but that's very toxic to me. That is what she needed in order to understand what opportunity she has in a man like Miles. Like, why does he have to lose his temper with you and, you know, basically be very raw with you about his emotions in order for you to realize that you're kind of low-key emotionally abusive? Like, she really kills me with the, you know, it's like, you want me to be like all over you 24/7. No, bitch, but hold my hand. Act like you like me sometimes. Jeez. Plus, on top of, you know, their own relationship issues, I think him being alone all the time and then her being there but not really interacting with him made him feel worse. And I understand how that feels. So Brett and Olivia, they're stagnant at this point. She hasn't come and started to move her things into his place. So now he isn't making much of an effort because he feels like she's not making much of an effort to move into his house, okay? Which I feel like is really stupid and petty at this point. Y'all should really be working on a relationship and trying to enjoy each other's company instead of looking for, you know, one another to be making these internal sacrifices. And I think he thinks he's made some big sacrifice, of which I don't know what that sacrifice has been. On the other hand, I feel like Olivia is constantly having to make sacrifices. I mean, the funny part about it is he says he's making sacrifices and it's not being reciprocated, but whenever she expresses how she feels, he acts like she's the only one with an issue. She's the only one that has a problem. He doesn't have a problem. And it's just like, well, how do we get to the end of this? And now you're saying that you feel as if she doesn't put in a real effort. Why didn't you say that from the beginning? So Brett's really nervous about the pandemic, right? Probably a little bit more scared than he is letting on. But once again, Olivia is a nurse. So she's always, you know, in and out. Her experience of the pandemic is different. She has learned how to live within it, okay? So when she decides to go and visit her family and visit her mom, he was not happy about it. She asked him if he wanted to come with her. He said no. It really didn't seem like it was a problem when she left. When she comes back home, he's packed all of his things, ate up all the food, and left. And she doesn't know what's going on. She's actually like hurt behind it. She gets emotional. She calls him. She's upset. And he's on the phone acting as if he told her he was leaving. And she's like, no, you did not say that you were moving out this weekend. Like, I would remember something like that. It's just very condescending, and you can tell it's passive aggressive. Like, you did it because you knew it would hurt her, because you knew it would make her feel some type of way, and because you were feeling some type of way, but you just can't say what it is. You have to be passive aggressive and do stuff like this to get back at people instead of just telling them what it is. And that's what I really didn't like about Brett. And he proved even more so to be insecure and a bitch ass dude as the episode progressed. Olivia's problem is she feels like letting go of this relationship is basically failing. And I feel like she needs to get out of that mindset, okay? Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. It does not make you a failure because a relationship that, you know, you were put in by surprise. It's not like you chose him for yourself. Somebody else chose him for you. So if that works out or not, even if you chose him, you never know, because we never know someone like we do after we've been with them for a while. We're always in some way, shape, or form meeting representatives or having first impressions of a person. So our understanding of them is different. And as you get to know people and time goes on, your understanding changes or just becomes, you know, a better understanding, clearer understanding of the person. However, deciding that it doesn't work for you does not mean that you have in any way, shape, or form given up on yourself or on love. Okay, I could have told you that this wasn't going to work out from the beginning because of Brett's attitude toward the process. It doesn't even make sense why someone like him would join a television show like this if he was constantly going to be condescending to the process. The therapist encouraged them to have a conversation. So eventually they will. But the therapist talked to Brett alone first, and he says he moved out because the cats were fighting. And it's like, okay, so did you move out because y'all had issues in the relationship, or did you move out because of the cats? Because it sounds like you're trying to put it off on the cats because you never really want to be honest and real about what your feelings are, which is what she felt the entire time in the relationship. The doctor calls him out on that, and he admits that there was a communication issue and she did not compromise with him. And he says that he doesn't, really feel more for her since they've been in quarantine. He feels as if he's been friend zoned. Okay. So he doesn't really have any, really romantic feelings for her. And when asked if it's something that they could work out, he actually says to the doctor he's committed to them not being the best option for him. When you say you're committed to not trying to work it out, it's because you've just given up. And I think that he wants to be this butthurt bitch ass dude. Like, it feels comfortable for him to be in that space. So instead of learning how to let go of that ego of his, of that feeling that he has, where he feels as if he has to control the situation, he has to be an asshole about it. Like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's doing it as a way to get back at her for being the type of person that she is. He knows he can't really be upset about a person being honest. So what does he do? He, acts as if there isn't an issue, but then actually treats her as if there is an issue. So it's just a lot to me. The mind fuckery dealing with a man or a person in general like Brett. But they sit down and talk. And she was coming to the table, obviously trying to fix it. And he basically said, no thanks. When he said, no thanks, I was like, I could kick you in the fucking Adam's apple, you disrespectful, unattractive, unappealing, insecure little buff ass man. Like, I cannot. It was just so cruel because you can tell that she was emotionally invested and that him saying that to her hurt her, and you could tell he knew it would hurt. Like, I don't like when men who are insecure and they know they're insecure, and that's where most of their issue comes from. That girl didn't do you anything, and you're treating her like scum on the bottom of your shoe, like she dogged you out or something. Like, it's ridiculous. He needs to get over that ex-girlfriend cheating on him. Anyway, Karen talks to the therapist, y'all, and this was the first time I feel like I've ever seen Karen show real emotion. She and the therapist talk, and they discuss how she has felt as if, Miles is feminine. And I would just like to say to everybody watching that men are genetically, emotionally, and mentally both masculine and feminine, just like women. Everybody, I'm just saying, like, genetically, men start out as a X chromosome and then the Y comes later. Like, so I want people to stop having overreactions to men being more in tune with their emotions or being able to communicate their emotions without anger being the leading emotion or feeling. Okay, I am over women and other men promoting toxic masculinity and dressing people being comfortable in who they are as somehow, feminine or effeminate. Okay, like they showed the different examples of when she was like making comments about his manhood, which really pissed him off. And that's when she finally understood what she was missing out on, when he got upset with her because he felt disrespected, that she was questioning his manhood. It's like, you're not a man. How the fuck are you gonna tell me what a man is or question my manhood just because I'm in touch with my emotions? I told my husband today, one of the best things my father ever did for me was cry in front of me. My daddy was a very strong alpha male type person, and watching him cry over the death of my mother's father, okay, like I'm sure he cried over his dad, but I watched him cry over my mom's dad getting sick and going to the hospital, and we knew that he was gonna die after that. Okay, after my dad tried to breathe life back into my grandfather, they took him to the hospital, and I watched my dad sit on the corner of the bed and cry. And he was such a strong person, and I was very young. I was like 6 years old. But seeing him cry let me know that men can cry and they should cry, because otherwise I feel like I would have had the same understanding as everybody else that men shouldn't cry and that's soft and they shouldn't show emotion in that way. And I also feel like I know what it feels like as a woman, as a black woman. We always have to try not to feel how we feel, not to show weakness. And there are times where I have had a knot in my throat holding tears back. So I would never tell somebody else, man or woman, that that is how they should handle their emotions. If you feel like crying, then you need to cry. And sometimes you need to cry by your damn self and not in front of other people. And sometimes not even in front of your spouse or whoever you're with. Okay. But I feel like it's so unfair that she looks at him in this way, because I feel like nobody wants to be with anybody who cries all the time. Nobody wants to be with anybody who is like all in their feelings all the time. And I feel like the idea that, you know, him showing his emotions, you know, even a little bit is just way too much for her. Like, that's just really annoying to me, because I feel like that's a good dude. And that's somebody that a lot of girls wish that they had met. You know what I'm saying? And you're complaining about him being able to communicate with you. You're complaining about him being a good guy and catering to you. Like, everything you're complaining about, to me, is a reflection of your own insecurities and how deep down you don't feel worthy. And also how you need to change how you think about masculinity and what it means to be a man. Okay? It doesn't mean to lie about how you feel. It doesn't mean to cap, to not make a woman feel like, oh my God, he has feelings. Like, that's not what being a man is. And I don't know who your example was, but you know, you need to fix your own mind about that. And anybody that's out there feeling like that, y'all need to fix y'all mind about that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, men should cry. We have a mechanism to cry, which means we should. Okay? That is ridiculous. But at this point, he raised up on her and told her that he wouldn't want to marry her, because first of all, they haven't been intimate. They haven't had sex. So why would you want to marry somebody if you don't know what that's like? First of all, it's 2020. Nobody's out here like marrying people sight unseen. I mean, they are, but they not. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to stay married to somebody if they don't know how that boom clack. But he also feels like she may not have the capacity to love him in the way that he wants to be loved. You know, I think she feels as if she can try. Like, she was crying and getting emotional about the idea of him not wanting to marry her. And I was just like, what you thought was going to happen? Did you think you were going to be able to not make an effort in a relationship that entire time and he was still going to want to be with you? Like, I don't understand why she thought he would feel that way. And I also don't understand why she felt he needed to get to this breaking point. Like, there are people who want to cater to a woman, who want to make you feel good, and they don't want to be angry. They don't want to be pushed to anger or, you know, pushed to feeling abandoned by you either, you know? And I think that that's what she did to him in order to get the reaction that she needed from him. But I understand. I'm also a toxic female in some ways, and you do like for men to have a certain amount of strength or, you know, toxicity about them. I'm not gonna say toxicity, but you like assertive men. You like men that are confident. You like men that can control a situation, not to the point where you can't breathe, but enough to the point where you can feel safe relinquishing control. Because, like, I think a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women don't want to be in control of everything all the time. But I feel like nobody does, in general. That's why partners are cool. They help. Amelia and Bennett, like, have become each other's life at this point, you know. And she's not being honest with him about how much she really wants kids. And so she has to talk to him about that. And he also has to talk to her about, you know, Virginia and whether he really wants to do that. But he actually, you know, decides that he will split his time between Virginia and New Orleans. So when she goes to Virginia, he will go with her. As far as the kids are concerned, she's going to wait until he is ready for kids. Because right now, he's not really ready. I think she's just going to have to accidentally get pregnant. That's all that's going to have to happen. Like, just accidentally get pregnant. He'll be okay. Christina talks to the therapist about how she doesn't think that Henry really wants her, likes her, considers her. You know, she references how, you know, he's never been out and just came home with something that he thought I would like. Like, and to me, that just is her, you know, kind of vapid way of pointing out that she doesn't feel considered. She doesn't feel like he cares or that he's trying to romance her in any way, shape, or form, okay? Henry feels as if Christina is a liar. You know, when they first met, I think we all clocked that it seemed as if she was living out of her car. Either that or she didn't want him to know where she lived. I said that. But apparently, you know, she might have been homeless. And it seems as if he feels she might have come here for the show. And it's not really about the relationship. It's about being on a reality show. So I think he thought that she was disingenuous. And so he clocked out and was never really making an effort. When she finds out about this, she's very hurt because she's like, I feel like you never even gave me a chance. You never even had a conversation with me in order for me to say I was living, you know, somewhere at first. And then when this happened, I changed where I was living. I think she was probably in between homes. And probably living out of her car and didn't really want to say that because that might be considered embarrassing. You know what I mean? But whatever the case, I still feel like she at some point genuinely opened up to the relationship and he was never giving enough for her to continue to do that. At least from what it looked like to me. Okay. And, you know, he still wanted to try to make it work, but she was like, why are we trying to make it work? He was like, I feel like there's still something to learn and it's still so unemotional. And she's so upset, so she just walks away. But it's so unemotional. Like, what do you mean there's something to learn? This is not like a crash course or online class or something like that. Like, it's an actual emotional relationship that you're trying to build with someone. So at some point, your reactions have to come from a place of emotion. And Henry never gives her that. You know, I feel like he was able to be clear and say how he felt to the therapist, but then wanted to act as if it was an impossibility for him to actually show emotion towards her in the way that she needs in order to feel validated in the relationship. So, I mean, I just feel like it is what it is. But, you know, I don't see it happening. Amani sits down and talks to the therapist. She and Woody are in love and are in a great place. They have been able to resolve their issues by talking, okay? And, you know, Woody is continuing to grow as a person and remember not to glaze over issues and, you know, really talk about things that bother him. But he wants kids. She wants a dog. At some point, they're going to get a dog, but they're waiting, and they're also waiting to have the kid. So maybe they'll have the kid and the dog all at once. And she was waiting to turn 30, 31, and I believe she just turned 30. So we'll see, okay? But, you know, I have all of, like, the most hopes for them. I really, really think they're a cute couple. I hope that they go the distance. And then at the end of the episode, we see Henry talking to, like, you know, cell phone video, basically telling us that Christina said someone texted her that he was in a relationship with a man that he was really in love with. And he was like, that's ridiculous. Like, why would I come on a show and marry a woman at first sight if I really wanted to be with a man? I wouldn't handle that like that. And I believe him. I think that it's something that she might have just been saying in order to come up with some reason for why he hasn't tried to get with her, like, or maybe suppress the issue to see, because when women feel as if men aren't attracted to them, it instantly sometimes goes to gay. I don't know why, but that's where it goes. It goes, you're not attracted to me? Oh, you must be gay. Okay. So I really feel, like it was something that she was just saying. Next week, we'll see whatever else happens with that. But yeah, y'all, it was a really good episode. I felt like it was one of the best episodes they had. Y'all, Miles and Karen, it really broke my heart that she wasn't being affectionate towards him. Like, it was just hard to watch him being so alone and her never, you know, like emotionally or, you know, just any type of comfort to him. So I really hope that they're able to, you know, change that and work on that. She said that she felt like she was really be able to, you know, give him what he needs in a relationship. But I feel like she said that before. And the quarantine happened and there was no real effort made to make him feel as if you want him to be there. You know what I mean? Brett leaving and going back to his place, I think was so passive aggressive and bitch made, as I said. Like, but it also doesn't surprise me about him. It just doesn't surprise me. He is basically, you know, on par with how he has been this entire time, like insecure and self-absorbed and a douche, basically. So yeah, that was Married at First Sight. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All right, share it with your people, and I'll see y'all in the next one.